FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I remember I mentioned in my book that Americans went to Iraq looking for mass destructive weapons, and they didn't find them because they didn't look at the right place. If they go to any school and open any Islamic book, they will find them inside it. So why you went to Iraq to fight terrorism while you're allowing the imams here in the United States teaching hatred to your own children? So why, as this lady said, you don't start here in the United States? And believe it or not, in the Islamic world are looking for you to see what kind of change you are going to make here in the West first. Then eventually they will have to change.
On this, we're in complete agreement. This is the present. It's a scandal the way the Western authorities in general, and the American in particular, are blind to what I call lawful Islamism. They're very focused on terror, criminality, and violence. But so long as an imam or anyone else is not engaged in funding terror, apologizing for terror, engaging in terror, that's okay. In other words, it's a very law enforcement approach. So long as you don't have a criminal record in some fashion associated with criminality, then you're okay. And that is the threat, I believe. That is the deep threat to ourselves, because we are blind to it. And it is the school books, it is the sermons, it is the television, it is the internet sites, it is the nonviolent promotion, the political, educational, media, law court aspect of this that our governments are blind to. And we see appointments of Islamists to law. I mean, people don't have criminal records. To say the Department of Homeland Security, we see example after example of infiltration of law enforcement and security forces throughout the West. Example after example, because these are people without criminal records. And what I say is, whether entering the country or joining a police force or anything else, we have to look. And the most difficult thing I have to say, and the thing I least like saying, and that people least like hearing, is there has to be special scrutiny of Muslims, because there is this temptation to radical Islam. And it's not necessarily violent, but there is this temptation you see over and over and over again. The latest example is what? Nidal Hassan in Fort Hood. Now, he went violent. Others don't go violent, but the temptation is there. And someone like Nidal Hassan needs special scrutiny. I hate saying it, you hate hearing it, but I think it's absolutely necessary.
Well, I'd like to follow up on that, Daniel. How do you reconcile what you've just said about the need for special scrutiny of Muslims with the constitutional provisions guaranteeing free exercise of religion and stipulating that no religious test whatsoever shall be applied to an office of public trust under the United States?
Well, I certainly didn't say that people don't have free speech, and I didn't say they don't have free assembly, and I'm not requiring that someone not be a Muslim to take a position. I'm saying there needs to be special scrutiny, whether it be chaplains in the military, whether it be passengers on airplanes, or a million other circumstances. It is unfortunate. It's profiling. I advocate profiling, what I call threat profiling. I like to draw the analogy that if there's a rapist on the loose, law enforcement will be looking at men, right, not at women. And if there is a problem of radical Islam, you look at Muslims, not at non-Muslims. So you look where the problem is.